Hi, folks. How are you all? As always, a wonderful experience to share and talk to you about life and career related tips and tricks, if I can use that word. And if that is something which is of interest to you, probably you can consider liking and subscribing to this channel. A very, very relevant and contemporary topic on which I will speak very, very briefly today. And in our work experience, in applying to various jobs, we constantly keep facing this challenge, if I may use that word. A whole lot of times we feel that we are the perfect candidate for a particular job which has been advertised or which has been seen in any public forum, be it on LinkedIn or Naukri or any other job posting site. We apply for a particular job. We are a perfect fit for that particular role, and we apply it for that job in all enthusiasm, but end of it we don't hear anything from the organization or from the consultant. So much so that we really get dejected in the whole job searching process. And it is very, very important that we chase the right job. I, of course, keep saying this. But here what happens is we, in fact, are seemingly chasing a right job because we see that everything is a perfect fit as far as that particular job is concerned. Be it a consultant listing, be it a corporate listing, we might spot a job vacancy on the organization's HR or recruitment portal. Irrespective of this place, I think quite often we come across this experience where we feel that we were a perfect fit, but alas, we weren't hired or even called or considered for that role. Why does it happen? I probably would want to quickly give you some insights from a recruiter's perspective, having a wealth of experience in working across all sides of or all phases. I've worked in a company hiring people. I also have worked in an executive search firm, helping organizations hire talent at middle and senior levels. I also have done a lot of work as a freelance contingency recruiter. When I say contingency, typical entry and mid-level hiring, what is popularly called as volume hiring. Again, here, irrespective of the kind of hiring, irrespective of the kind of particular role, a whole lot of times we really don't. If I'm an organization and I'm a HR guy or a talent acquisition guy in an organization, the first thing to understand if you're a candidate is that you should probably. We tend to imagine that talent acquisition or HR has got immense power in an organization. I think it is not true. What is very true is that HR or talent acquisition people depend a lot on the hiring manager. When I say hiring manager, these are the functional managers who really roll out the people demand for the organization. They come and tell HR or recruitment, look, I want this kind of a person. Why don't you immediately help me hire such a person? And that is when HR or recruitment steps in. Similarly, the HR head is a stakeholder or a decision maker within the HR or function, but for other functions like supply chain, technology, finance and accounts, I think the respective functional heads are the decision makers in terms of whom they want to hire, what position they want to hire, and things like that. So in that sense, contrary to what we would like to believe, talent acquisition function or the HR function has actually got very, very less leverage in the overall scheme of things. That is the first thing to understand. And using this information, if you analyze, a whole lot of times you probably aren't aware that the hiring manager in the organization is looking for a very, very specific skill, and this specific skill probably is lost in the detail in the entire job listing or job posting. The job description is written in detail, and you went through the job description. After reading through the job description, you feel that I'm a perfect fit for this. But what happens is the hiring manager has got one particular niche skill in mind, and without that skill, he says, I don't want to hire anybody without that particular skill, irrespective of how good or incompetent it is. So again, what happens is it is not a reflection of your competency. It is not a reflection of how good your professional you are. It is not a reflection of your career path till now. It is very, very clear reflection of the conscious choice that a particular hiring manager makes, saying that irrespective of how good the candidate is, I am not going to hire a person without one one niche skill. Okay, how can I illustrate that? I will tell you this. We wanted to hire somebody in the accounting team of a large multinational organization, and they wanted somebody who's an accounts manager. They want typically somebody with a wealth of experience in accounts, somebody who can who's conversant with using SAP, materials management module, accounting software, and things like that, and stuff like that. We in fact presented a number of candidates who had this specific set of skills, but what happened is, after scrutinizing a whole bunch of profiles, the hiring manager seemingly told the talent acquisition team, look, we have a very, very old version of SAP and primitive version. I'm not really getting into the details, but this guy has got a very, very contemporary SAP experience. I'm not looking for that. I will hire only people who got experience in that much, much earlier version of SAP. Now, this is a huge challenge. Even if we present 20-30 candidates, for example, I very, very clearly know that we are not going to get probably even one person who's experienced or who's got expertise, practical hands-on knowledge in that primitive version of SAP, and for that reason this hiring never happened. So this is the best illustration as to what is running in the hiring manager's mind because of his own organization constraint, because he's got his own challenges in terms of running the function and things like that. So these are situations where you really wouldn't know. So if there is a situation like this, very, very clearly you should probably make an assumption that don't have some specific skill which they are looking for. In some cases, the HR function or even the consultant comes back to you and will tell you that this is the reason why we couldn't hire you. But a lot of times, even HR is just puzzled, unless otherwise the HR and the hiring manager has got a very, very strong relationship, good functional, I'm saying good working experience or good relationship in terms of exchanging communication. The hiring manager is not going to tell the talent acquisition team that this is the reason why I'm not hiring. So this is something very, very important you bear in mind. There is probably some hidden reason or some hidden spec which you aren't possessing in terms of your knowledge and competency. So this is one thing why probably despite you feeling that you're a perfect candidate, you weren't hired. Okay, what else could be the reason? The other reason is the others are actually very, very extraneous reasons. One reason is that as I keep saying that there are ghost jobs all over the place, and job ghosting is a menace now in corporate India like it is in the rest of the world. So you probably applied for a job which is not being hired right now. They probably are building a talent pipeline for the long run, and they'll probably hire after a year or so. So probably, you think you're the best candidate, but the position itself isn't really open in that organization. That is another reason why probably you're not hearing, despite the fact that you're a very, very eminently qualified candidate from the job description point of view. So besides this, there could be a number of other tricky reasons as well in terms of why you're not getting hired. Like in some cases, as I said, the hiring manager possesses immense clout in terms of whom they will hire and things like that. And a lot of times they will seek application from referrals. If you could understand what I'm saying is, they want to hire somebody through a referral route, but that referral person has to apply for the job on the job portal as a process. So this job is going to be open in their portal only for maybe 24 hours, 36 hours, and in that duration this person who's a referral person or one or two persons who are referral candidates will apply, and then they'll take away the job from the job site. So typically, if you're seeing some jobs which suddenly appeared on a job portal, suddenly disappear, suddenly appeared on LinkedIn jobs and suddenly disappear, this is exactly the reason. They really have a candidate in mind, and just to enable that candidate, click on that apply button and send his profile, more as a process, because HR has got its automation process. HR runs on automation, and to set the person's hiring process within the organization, they require this application to go through their HR module. We might be very assumed to think that these things are happening, but a lot of times, if you're probably looking at job postings which are just open for 24 hours or 36 hours and they are suddenly vanished into thin air, it clearly means that you might be very, very qualified, but you actually have wasted time applying for that particular job. So these are things which happen with many organizations, not necessarily in one or two organizations. I think every other organization does all these things. Just because there has to be HR policy compliance and things like that, they keep the job for open for about 24 to 36 hours and suddenly they close it. It clearly means that if you keep seeing those disappearing jobs, you can be dead sure that you are not going to be called for an interview despite being the best of the candidate. So there are a lot of dynamics like this. I always keep telling my peers, as a consultant, when I counsel candidates, very, very clearly, when you probably aren't getting hired for one of those perfect jobs, the most important thing to bear in mind is don't bash yourselves up and don't get into that spiral of self-sympathy saying that, look, I'm so eminently qualified, but it is my bad luck that I'm not getting an interview and things like that. Not really. As I said, there are 10 other extraneous reasons, and despite that competency which you have, probably it is just I would put it this way: you probably applied for the wrong job at the right time. So always when you are applying for jobs or when you are actively seeking jobs, I would say you have to chase a minimum of 4 to 5 jobs for which you are eminently qualified. That's the kind of research which is very, very important, because end of the day, if one of the jobs is going fut like this, you have 3 other jobs which will help you build that particular job seeking pipeline, or end of the day offer. I think only chasing 4 or 5 jobs will really result in one offer, given that they're going to find better candidates. There are going to be so many applicants for any particular job, and there are always 100 people chasing one ideal job. So these are the kinds of things which you should remember, and these are the kind of factors which is why you probably didn't get hired for one of those perfect jobs. There could be many other reasons, but classically, just to illustrate, these are some of the reasons why you really aren't hearing from any organization or a consultant after applying for one of those perfect jobs. One solution for this is have an eye for detail when you're sending in applications. Don't quickly sift through the job descriptions and just blindly send in your application. Take pains, spend time rereading job descriptions, and probably then once you have that eye for detail, you'll very, very clearly see that there is something which is not there with you. And without that, they're not going to hire the person for that particular role or job. So that as a process is very, very important. And if you're talking to consultants or taking the consultant route to get hired in organizations, very, very clearly insist to this consultant that you will apply or you will share your CV only with the proper job description. Yeah, they might tell you that they might tell you that they don't have a job description. Yeah, but then they have to really take pains to write a proper job description if they really want good candidates like you to come there. So if you really insist that, either they'll source it from the client or they'll take pains to write a job description. I think these are some of the ways you really can foolproof you from disappointment, and foolproof you from not imagining that you are one of those perfect candidates for that job which is listed there or out on the internet. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I probably have covered much of the reasons why you probably are not getting hired for that perfect job. If you think some things I've missed out, probably you could probably comment. I'll see if I can put a video on that. Thanks for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you. I'll see you soon with another video. I'm sure this has been useful. See if you can share it within your WhatsApp groups and things like that, and consider liking and subscribe to this channel. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful career ahead. Thank you.